Okay, Mayor, meeting is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Certainly want to welcome everyone to the Vinton Town Council meeting for this Tuesday evening, November 16th. Susan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember Mullins. Here. Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Here.
Mayor Gross.
Here. In just a minute, I'll ask you to stand for a moment of silence. Moment of silence. During that time, if you choose to pray, I hope that you will. I certainly plan to. And I would ask you to keep this country, this community, and this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers. And there'll be one additional item we'd like to add to that in just a minute. And we will also have our Pledge of Allegiance. I think Councilmember Lyle is going to do that this evening, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And with that, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our Chief of Police for some special recognition.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, and town staff for affording me the privilege to open up today's meeting with remembrance and reflection of the life of Michael Chandler, a devoted community servant that dedicated his life to his very last moment of protecting our way of life. On November 16, 2021, police officer Michael Chandler of the Big Stone Gap Police Department was shot and killed while performing a welfare check at a vacant home. Officer Chandler was flagged down by a citizen at about 4 a.m. who asked him to check on a person who was inside of a home. When he arrived on scene, he encountered a subject and was shot. A deputy with the Wise County Sheriff's Office located Officer Chandler in a ditch alongside the home's driveway. He was transported to Norton Community Hospital and then flown to Johnson City Medical Center in Tennessee, where at 7 p.m., Officer Chandler succumbed to his injuries while his family was by his side. The incident occurred on Officer Chandler's 29th birthday. In addition to serving with the Big Stone Gap Police Department, he also served as a volunteer with the Big Stone Gap Fire Department. Officer Chandler is remembered as an integral piece of his community, where he was involved in many community activities. Officer Chandler was recently married and is survived by his wife, who is a deputy with the Wise County Sheriff's Office, and his daughter and stepdaughter. Any American who gives his life in the defense to our communities deserves everlasting memories in our hearts. As a community, we send our condolences to the Big Stone Gap Police Department and to Officer Chandler's family in knowing that his life is now eternal. Officers such as Officer Chandler do not wear a badge for glory, but for the single principle of love of service and the preservation that is enshrined in the rule of law. It is our profession in the law enforcement profession that is dependent upon to preserve the sanctity of life throughout our great nation. It is the selfless sacrifice and the final actions of those, such as Officer Chandler, that solidified that there is no greater calling than to serve others in the time of need. So today I ask all those in law enforcement to reflect on the path that you walk and the oath that you've taken. Our profession will always be united by one shared goal: to protect and serve our communities and hold the fine line that separates order from disorder. Believe in your profession, believe in yourselves, and the courage you exhibit every day you put on the uniform for all. This evening, when you bow your heads for a moment of silence, keep Officer Chandler, the Big Stone Gap Police Department, and the community in your thoughts and heartfelt prayers. While words may fall short of expressing the sorrow we have for this tragic loss, may the love and comfort that only God's grace can provide be bestowed to those that loved him the most. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And with that, if you'll stand for the moment of silence and the pledge, please.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief, for that moving remembrance and recognition. And with that, we will move on to our next item, which is the upcoming community events and announcements. Vice Mayor?
Yes. So starting, I guess it started yesterday, the 15th through the 23rd, the Town of Benton Public Works starts Christmas decorating the town. So that is an exciting time. We always love to see everything go up. So be on the lookout for how great our town can look again yet another year. November the 25th and 26th, the town offices will be closed in observant of Thanksgiving Day. So that's Thursday and Friday. The refuse reminder, it's on the town calendar. I think they've sent it out on social media, but the Monday pickup stays the same. Tuesday pickup will be picked up. Tuesday will pick up Tuesday and Wednesday will pick up Thursday and Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your days are going to be different. December the 1st, Christmas storefront decorating contest. We invite all of the businesses to decorate their door or storefront. And on December the 13th, awards given for Best All Around, Mayor's Choice, Most Creative, Most Amplified Spirit of Christmas. So, and in the email that Chastity sent out, she said that she not only wanted, the downtown businesses to do it, but any business in town. So anybody can participate in that. We just need to know in advance so we don't miss your storefront when the judging takes place. December the 2nd, we are getting excited for our Benton Christmas Parade, which is presented by the Benton Area Chamber of Commerce and is sponsored by Member One. Come join the mayor and Miss Roanoke Valley at our tree lighting ceremony with local entertainment. That'll be at the Municipal Building stage at 6 p.m. and then the parade starts at 7 p.m. and this year's theme is past, present, and future. December the 14th, we're going to do the Town of Benton Santa Crawl again, which last year was our first time doing that. We did it because it was something that we kind of had to do last year, but we liked it so much and everybody enjoyed it so much that we're going to continue to do that. So it'll go through the town of Benton starting at 5:30 p.m. and we love seeing all the fur babies and children's faces as Santa and his helpers pass through the community. December the 16th, the Chamber invites you to their holiday open house at Charles R. Center. That starts at 5 p.m. And I think Chastity had mentioned there's no hockey until January, but seeing how this is my first time back since the hockey game, I want to say kudos over here to Miss Mullins for her team beating my team. Anyway, it's all Virginia. She did keep me posted on the score because I asked her to. And since we have a closed session this afternoon, I just wanted to add congratulations to Hannah and Drake Lewis, who got married this past weekend. That is Angie Tuning's son and now daughter-in-law. And I also wanted to thank Debbie for her excellent job in the Benton Messenger, and the welcoming article on the coffee shop was so nice. So thank you for that. And that's all.
All right. Thank you. A lot going on in Benton these days, that's for sure. Thank you very much. Okay, next item is a request to postpone or change the order of the agenda. Any requests, council? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And tonight that contains the minutes of the regular meeting of November 2nd. Any changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Mullins, second by Councilmember Lyles. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. I don't see anything listed under awards, so that brings us to citizens petitions. I think we're all family, so I don't see anyone here with the petition this evening. And Jeremy, I don't see anything listed for you, but always good to see you and your spiffy ties. Right, so we'll move on to the town manager section.
Good evening, Mayor Groves, members of council. I have 3 briefings for you this evening, and no items requiring action. For the first briefing, I'll ask the Assistant Town Manager Cody Sexton to present an update on the premium pay project.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. Oh, council, there we go. So this evening, I get the privilege to present a very exciting item for the town and especially our employees. As a result of actions taken by the federal government in bestowing some ARPA funding on us and actions by the General Assembly in their second special session in 2021, we have developed a plan to offer $3,000 in premium pay for sworn public safety employees and essential public works employees who were hired after July 1 of 2021, $1,500 for those hired after July 2021, and then for all other employees, $2,000 after that July 1 date, and $1,000 after that as a gratitude bonus for the hard work over the past year, and to thank, everyone who's been working so hard during the pandemic, and call out a special attention to our essential frontline personnel in public safety and public works. And so before you tonight, with this briefing and available to answer any questions, we have an allocation of $138,869 from the ARPA funds to cover those premium pay allotments for the essential personnel, and then from the general fund, $37,813, from the utility fund, $13,887, and then from the stormwater fund, up to $781 for those various premium pay allotments. And this is something that, with the help of Treasurer Cantrell and our Director of Human Resources, Donna Collins, we've worked on and have come up with this plan endorsed by the town manager and briefed, I think, all of y'all individually on this, and something that we're all very excited about, and like I said, happy to answer any questions. And at our second review, Ms. Cantrell will be updating the numbers. There may be some minor changes, sort of working around the edges, but this is something that we're proposing, and like I said, happy to answer any questions about it.
Okay, thank you very much, council. Questions, comments?
No questions, but I appreciate us being briefed on it earlier. I mean, so we knew. As usual, staff was great to keep us up to date, and I feel like we all are on board.
Yep.
Well deserved.
And real quick, I do want to emphasize that one of the goals of the ARPA funding is to do activities like this. So this is one of the highest priorities with the ARPA funding, to support our frontline personnel, our public works staff, our public safety staff, and it falls directly in line with sort of every encouragement and every priority given to us from the federal government. So we are exactly in line with supporting these efforts.
Right. Yeah, I agree. We're all very excited about this. It's awesome that we can do this, and obviously the ARPA funds were huge, so we're certainly glad to see that. And I understand this is in line with what other localities are doing also, isn't it?
Yes, sir. The $3,000 amount, as I mentioned, passed by the General Assembly in one of their special sessions. That aligns with what they did for sheriff's offices and other local law enforcement personnel through constitutional officers. It also aligns with what Roanoke County and other localities have done in the region.
Okay, great news.
Absolutely.
That was not hard to vote for, so.
So for the further action at your December 7th
Right.
meeting, we'll bring forward the updated ordinance with the final numbers, and we would anticipate being able to distribute checks in the middle of the month in December.
Cool. Perfect timing,
Merry
right?
Christmas.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cody. Next item I have this evening is an MOU regarding some COVID-19 utility relief, and I'll ask Ms. Cantrell, Treasurer and Finance Director, to present on this item.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, and members of council.
Good
I have
evening.
great news this evening and kind of continuing on the ARPA theme. The state actually had a program for utility assistance very similar to the program that we received with CARES funding, but this time it's under the American Rescue Plan Act funding. So we did apply, and we have noticed that we received $118,089.97. So this award can be used directly to assist with residential municipal utility customers of the town of Vinton. They have to have an arrearage greater than 60 days from the time period between March 12th of 2020 and August 31st of 2021. To receive this funding, we have to have a fiscal agent. They are requiring it to be a city or a county. And so we have Roanoke County that has agreed to be the town's fiscal agent, and they have a briefing tomorrow at the 16th at 3. And then we're supposed to take action to receive the funding on December 7th. I believe they will take action on December 14th, which will allow us to meet the certification deadline of the state by January. So really great news. It should be a good impact to our customers. This program is actually a little bit easier to administer. Our customers don't have to fill out an application to say that I'm eligible. We can do a pre-qualification test, which we've done. We qualify. So as long as they have an arrearage, we can assume that they need financial assistance. So this allows us to apply it directly to an outstanding balance. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Merry Christmas.
Good news.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Awesome. That's particularly great news for some of our citizens. That's awesome. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Ann. Mayor, the last item we have this evening, I'll ask Donna Collins, the town's HR Director and Risk Management Director, to provide a briefing on some updated standards for our staff regarding COVID-19.
Just that for vertical assistance. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, member of council. I am here tonight to give you a briefing on the Virginia Occupational Safety and Health Standard that was implemented as a permanent standard for COVID-19 in January of this year. The Department of Labor and Industry made updates to this in October, and Virginia employers were to implement these changes by November 8th of 2021. So the week of October 25th, there were about 7 different sessions that we held to train employees on the changes, and in addition to that, we also made changes to our infectious disease program and policies, and that was implemented in October. We completed the training by October the 29th, so as far as the town goes, we made the changes effective for all town employees November 1st of 2021. The changes to the program were the following. Employee classification no longer determines the risk of transmission, but employers are now to follow the CDC transmission data map, which plainly you put in the county or the area that you're looking at, and it gives you a color code whether or not you're in a high risk, a medium risk, or a low risk, sort of like a threat level. All employees, regardless of the vaccination status, are required to wear a face covering if 6 feet of physical distance cannot be maintained. We also had to establish an anonymous whistleblower hotline for COVID-19 concerns and complaints that employees had. We made limitations to workplace density, which means Bo and I actually went to all the common spaces for the town facilities and measured with a tape measure of how many people you can get in the room, maintaining 6 foot of social distance. And those were posted on all the areas. The break rooms, conference rooms, etc. Employees are required to sanitize and disinfect their workspaces at the end of their shift. We work in conjunction with the janitorial staff, who is responsible for cleaning and disinfecting daily the common areas of the buildings. We already did the pre-screening. When employees come in, they're to do a short health assessment, take their temperature, and initial that they've done so before they enter for the day. That's going to continue indefinitely. And the other change was the town implemented a system-based strategy for employees returning to work that have been diagnosed with COVID-19 or suspected to be infected by another family member. Previously, we went by VDH's guidelines that you had to have a negative test to come back, and now we're just working on a symptom-based strategy and a time period before employees can return. These are only for Virginia employers, so if you're asking a question as to why it wouldn't apply to a meeting such as we're having this evening, those things are controlled by the governor and executive orders. So this is for Virginia employers only. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have or concerns.
Council. Thank you, Donna. We certainly
You're
want
welcome.
to abide by all the regulations and support the safety standards too, so.
It's
thank you.
definitely our new norm.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for all that work. I know it takes some time to put all that together, so thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes my section for this evening. I have no urgent project updates or comments. All the items that I would typically update to you on this section, we either were briefed on tonight, will be presented by Bo in the Public Works Committee report, or the council will receive a briefing at the next council meeting by staff. So, a lot going on, but no immediate urgent updates to share with you tonight. So thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. So I guess that moves us on to the reports from the committees. Looks like Mr. Herndon. I used to call him Bo, now I have to call him Mr. Herndon.
No, we'll stay with Bo.
Good to see you, Bo.
Mayors, members of councils, good evening. How y'all doing today? We had a Public Works Committee meeting November the 9th of last week. We covered 6 items. First item that we covered was the signal light. We're a little bit behind on that. Parts are scheduled to come in to be shipped on the 17th of December, but they will not be installed till January. Just like everything else in the world, it's just got delayed, and that's going to cover 3rd Street in Virginia and also the entrance to PFG, also at Virginia. Also, there's a loop at Bypass in Washington that was bad. We have a camera system there. A few times a year, it's the way the sun sets. It messes that camera up and it delays traffic. And the only way that we can fix that is you can't fight the sun, so we have to put a loop in. So that has been ordered. That's going to be scheduled to put in before Christmas. So that'll help the traffic coming from William Byrd into town. It only happens it's like a 15-minute period. It's a time that we get a phone call at Public Works, there's a problem, time I get up there, it's fixed. So I think I'm doing a good job at that. But other than that, we can't. So second thing we covered was Hardy Road street light update project. There was a recommendation from the Public Works Committee considering an adoption options to fund this project immediately. And what it is, it's 17 LED lights that'll go up and down Hardy Road from Bypass to the town line. It comes in at a price of a little under $6,100. We have found room in our budget to fund that. We have and we also have contacted AEP to get that project rolling. Hopefully we'll have some information by our next meeting. They're saying, probably mid-spring before it's completed. So, but it should move fairly quickly once we get going. Third item was our paving update. We had our bid opening on November the 8th. We had one bid from Boxley. It came in as a tick under, just under $800,000, and that covers roads Olive Ruddle, North Blair, South Blair, Bowman Street, Dale Avenue, East Cleveland. It's a good amount, so long as we have some funding, we'll be able to get that done. That time frame of that paving will be done probably June, so we can go June, July. We're taking 2 budget years to take advantage of the good pricing. The fourth item that we covered was the meter project update. As of right now, on the business side, out of 546 meters, we've had 234 installed. And as the residential, which is about 4,600, we have about 1,200 installed. So that's moving right along pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
The fifth item we covered was the private stormwater repair over at Tammy Shepherd's place. We have about 300 foot of stormwater drain that we're trying to put in, and also two structures. The two structures have been put in, and also 150 foot of pipe has been put in. We're about 2 weeks out from having that project completely. So basically, we're about 50% done there. That's going pretty smooth. Sixth thing we covered was the Mountain View Road update. We have boring and geotech work scheduled for the 1st of December. I think me and Cody have a meeting Thursday to verify where we stand on that. But as of right now, we're looking at the 1st of December to get that work done. And that's all we covered. It was a pretty good meeting. It's always entertaining, for sure. So but if y'all have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them for you.
Thank you, Bo. Folks, got any questions, comments?
They do an
You guys-
awesome job.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of work.
Mayor Gross, if I may just comment, Bo, on the good job Public Works did on the Walnut Avenue stormwater repair.
Oh, yeah.
The road was closed through Thursday last week. So they expedited this project, got the materials in place. It did all the work themselves, and they had the road back open by Friday. So it was a wonderfully orchestrated detour, I thought. It certainly inconvenienced some folks, but it was well executed. So great job on the team by doing that, but certainly by the Public Works staff, a job well done. And they're still doing some finishing touches down there around the edges, but I thought it went extremely well considering the amount of traffic that goes through there and the size of that structure. So good job, Bo, and to the team.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to do it in council comments, but let me piggyback on that. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the citizens naturally look for that type of leadership that they saw, and that was, had a plan, we had a problem, of course. I'm sure everybody else went by there and saw the hole. Secondly, you developed a plan, delivered the plan out to the citizens, told them what was going to happen, kept it inside that time frame, and did a great job. Of course, I went over there that day. When I was over there, the guy, Rossi, he was over there, the head guy, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Dave, right. Great guy. And, but anyway, so yeah, hats off to you. Congratulations on that. Did a great job on that.
I understand next time that you have to replace it, the Mike's going to help with it, right?
Yeah.
He is. He's
Yeah.
going to come out and work.
Has a 100-year pipe, so. I think that's what they told me, that they thought that the new stuff that they're putting in
Yeah.
could last.
And it surprises us when you say that the Public Works Committee is entertaining.
And Jill's a hoot.
She talks the whole time.
She does.
I think they get donuts, man.
Right.
Good report, seriously.
Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and with that, we'll move to comments from council. Mike, you want to start this evening?
I do, sir. And actually, I'd commented on Public Works, and I do want to say, not to go back a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately, or fortunately, one of the we communicate a lot of different ways now. One of the ways that we communicate is, of course, by social media. Unfortunately, with social media, there are times when there's just true fiction, venom. And of course, things are just quite frankly not true. And, I know that a couple weeks ago, people got out there. And one of the things that I paid close attention to and actually had some conversations with staff was that it's difficult when you see that kind of stuff as a staff member not to read it and not to think that, it's part of you. But as one council member tonight, not speaking for the team, but definitely glad I'm part of the team. You have my 100% support. I hope that the staff of this town sees this. I don't care whether you've been here a month or you've been here for decades. Naturally, you do a tremendous job. And I know we can't hide behind the fact, because we hear people say all the time, oh, Benton, you pay double taxes in Benton. You do. But each and every one of you that work for this town gives the citizens of Benton that extra money that they pay for taxes. And I could talk all night about the things that you do. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, we understand, I understand, and I know the team does, but I don't want to speak for them, but we understand that first and foremost, we've got 3.2 square miles and a little over 8,400 citizens or somewhere in that range. And you honor those citizens plus our outlying areas. So I did want to bring that up and didn't want to say, as far as I'm concerned, you have our support. You saw tonight one of the steps that were taken to say thank you as far as money that we had gotten into the town, and let you know that as long as I sit in this seat, I will always support the citizens and will fight and stand up for the citizens, which I made some comments, not on social media, but I did make some comments. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Laura, you have any comments this evening?
I would like to say that we attended the Roanoke County State of the County, and it was nice to get together with lots of people safely and see everyone and meet new people and just feel a part of a bigger community that we haven't got to feel in a while because we've sort of been, laying low with the COVID and not really doing big events like that. But it was nice to get together and see people and learn about new things that are happening in our bigger community, and we're doing such a great job in Vinton. It was nice to have that out there too.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. Vice Mayor, you have anything to add?
I do. I actually had a gentleman come into my office the other day that said that he was going to be working in the Roanoke area and that he wanted to meet some folks and wanted to know if I knew how to get him in position to where he could meet some folks. I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, what are you doing tomorrow? So we came here to the Lunch and Learn, and was awesome. Pete, as usual, did an awesome job of talking about where we are and where we're going with and where we've been, so the past, present, and future. And it was just, he actually had worked for another entity that was similar to here, which I'm not going to mention, but he said they don't do it like that there. He said they don't tell you stuff like this. It's a secret there. So it goes back to being well informed and always knowing, what's going on. So thank you, Pete, for that. And I think it was well attended and the comments were nice and appreciated. So good job.
Very good. Thank you for that. Sir, do you have anything further?
Just a few things. I want to say the same thing that Lori about the state of the county. That was good to get with everyone that morning. It's early.
Well, for some of us.
For some of you, yeah. But it was very informative and good to see all the folks from the county and seeing all the projects that they've completed this year and what they're looking to do in the future as well. Also, congratulations to Twin Creeks. I just wanted to say that they were hit this past Saturday was their 5-year anniversary. Wow. It's hard to believe that they've been here for 5 years. It's flying by. So I made it up to the Brew Pub up on the Explore Park and had lunch, and then I went back by the brewery and celebrated there for just a little bit, and then I went back to my projects that I had at my house. So I just wanted to congratulate them on their continued success. And then I just think it's great that the bonus that we're going to be able to give all the employees, and then also the citizens, the reprieve from past here at the holidays, it will make a big difference for our employees and our citizens. So it's great to live in the town of Vinton.
Yes, it is. Well said.
It is that.
Thank you. I certainly agree with that. I got just a few comments, and I had some notes that you guys have touched on, which is good. I enjoyed the state of the county, and I appreciated Mr. Peters recognizing the successes we've had here in Vinton. But it was good to hear that Roanoke County is doing a lot of good things too, because let's face it, we all work together as a team and as partners. So it was a really good morning, even though it was early. It was a good morning. The Lunch and Learn was great, and I understand that Pete and Dr. Turner has been kind of working together on little Lunch and Learn things, but you did a great job. I want to congratulate the Chamber of Commerce for putting that together. And I'd also like to thank, I'm not sure who all was involved, Chastity and Donna, for the recognition of the veterans and the breakfast that you had for us. That was very nice. We, as a veteran, I certainly appreciate it. And gosh, I hope we can continue this service forever, but I really come to appreciate how nice it is that we still pick up the leaves in Vinton, because ours is a neighborhood that has a lot of leaves, and they came by and sucked them all up, and it looks a whole lot better now. So I'm glad that we still have that service. I wanted to mention something just briefly. I actually intended to open the meeting with this, and hopefully it'll become a habit. As you folks know, those that attend regularly, we try to adhere to Robert's Rules of Orders as best as possible, although we are somewhat informal. And in addition, we have a set of guidelines, and this set of guidelines is attached to the agenda that's available as you come into the council chambers. Thank you, Susan, for doing that. I understand you do that every meeting, that set of guidelines here. So if you want to visit us, we'd love to have you here. But if you come to visit us, please make yourself familiar with those guidelines. And lastly, I perhaps should have planned just a little better, but I was just, it hit me again tonight as our staff took us through some briefings, and they did it in a really efficient manner. But I know there's a lot of work involved before it even gets to the level of a briefing, much less a vote. And which brings me actually to the point I want to make. I'll say it again. We have a really great professional staff, and not that we haven't had good people in the past, but overall this is a powerful staff. It's a really very professional, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I think Vinton's a great place to work. Mrs. Donna Collins is one of the great reasons for that too. She has done a great job over these past few years in hiring the right people that want to work here, and keeping our staff trained, as well as doing things like the veterans recognition and the COVID-19 regulations. So Donna, thank you for the job you're doing. I appreciate it very much, and I'm sure all of council would agree with me on that. So good job. Believe it or not, that's all I got. I know it's hard to believe. All right, so we have a couple requests to go into a closed session, and I will try to read this. This is a request to convene in closed session pursuant to 2.2-3711A6 of the 1950 Code of Virginia as amended for discussion of the investment of public funds in the town-owned sewer and water system where bargaining is involved, and where, if made public initially, the town's financial interest would be adversely affected. And then a second request for closed session to convene pursuant to 2.2-3711A29 of the 1950 Code of Virginia as amended for discussion of the award of a new or amended public contract concerning the town-owned sewer and water system, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the town's bargaining position or negotiation strategy. And so we'll ask for someone to make that a motion. But let me also mention we do not intend to make any announcements when we return from the closed session. I think it's okay to do that, didn't it? All right. So is there a motion?
I make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor of moving to a closed session, executive session, whatever, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you, folks. We will not be offended.